Hey, 𝗟𝗶𝗸𝗃𝗀𝗃 here. I am on a journey to show you how to start a company, a government contracting business in the federal market on January 1st, and by December 31st, 2025, be able to get to $1 million. Starting a government contracting business, government contracting in general, it's not a secret, it's just a process. And I teach the process all the time. This journey set of videos is my way of saying, let me eat my own dog food or walk the talk. Let me show you me doing exactly what any one of you would be doing instead of just teaching. I teach all the time, but I like to just go down this path of reminding you. So if you've been here a while, this is day 15. What day is it? 15. Today's day 15, right? And I got a couple of different activities I should be working on, but frankly, my day has been very busy because I'm just doing this on the side at the end of the day to show you I can build a business in 30 to 60 minutes a day. But so right before I did the video, I was like, oh, what can I teach today? Because I can't show what I wanted to. It's just too much effort. But I can show you past performance. So I started working on my capability statement. If you've been watching the videos, you know this. But for those who maybe this is the first video you're seeing, a capability statement, if I come over here, is a Z format. So that's the header, that's the footer. And I teach the Z format where you come down. And this is the header information. Right here is what do I sell, right? And here is past performance. And I'm just going to stop there. You can watch the rest. What I want to talk about today is past performance. How do I define what 𝗟𝗶𝗃𝗀𝗃 does? And 𝗟𝗶𝗃𝗀 is, my wife's name is Nancy, so I'm just calling it that. And I'm trying as much as possible to stay in the blind. This one is a little bit harder because I have to use some past performance. But what do you do if you have limited past performance? So that's what I'm going to describe today. And for those of you who have past performance, this is even easier for you because you'll be able to see how I pull commercial or even nonprofit unpaid type past performance. And I'm just going to insert it into my past performance for a capability statement. I'm trying to start a company as if I don't have any federal experience, which 𝗟𝗶𝗃𝗀𝗃 does not. No federal experience, no commercial experience, no state and local, right? So how am I going to describe it? I run, if you don't know this, by the way, I'm 𝗟𝗶𝗸𝗃𝗀𝗃. I'm the president of GovCon Chamber of Commerce and co-founder of GovCon in a Box. And since, I had two government contracting businesses for 20 years. And since 2018, I've been teaching government contracting. It's not a secret, it's just a process. And so in that time I've been teaching, I have extensive LinkedIn experience. So 𝗟𝗟𝗃𝗀𝗃 is going to be a LinkedIn engagement type company. That's what I'm going to sell. Watch another video to see that. And so I've been using LinkedIn actually since 2007. I used it to build my second government contracting business, and I certainly have used it to build the GovCon chamber, YouTube and Twitter and this other stuff as well. But LinkedIn's where I'm at. I think I have, I don't know how many followers on YouTube, like 3,000 or 4,000, whatever it is. I'm kind of curious. Let me go see how many I have. Oh, well, I got more than I thought. I got 13,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is good. It's not, I'm not viral or anything, right? But over on LinkedIn, I have almost 40,000. And that is a way better place for me to have connections because I'm in the federal market. And in the federal market, LinkedIn is the professional network. Anyways, remember, I'm trying to sell LinkedIn services. And so I need to describe it. I thought I'd walk you through the exercise of how I brainstorm. What would I put in that past performance? Usually what I tell people, and you can find this in training, and I've got all sorts of training that I've done, but usually I say who and what in the past performance section. I usually break it up when I'm doing a capability statement for somebody or I'm giving them my template to follow along. I say in the past performance section, first thing you do in the top part of this section here is to put the companies in the federal government. You would put the agencies who have paid you. And so basically what you're hoping for is like 6 recognizable names. If you don't have 6 names, then put anything you have in there. For me, I'm going to skip that whole thing because nothing I have except for the GovCon chamber really resonates. I don't know. Now that I just thought about it, I might actually put the chamber in there. So I can put in the GovCon chamber. And for the fun of it, I'll put the Hub Zone and the GovCon. If you don't know this, the GovCon chamber is what I call it now. GovCon Chamber of Commerce is this organization I run. Before that, though, it was called the Hub Zone Chamber. And for the, that was a legitimate organization. I formed it as a LLC and all this kind of stuff. So I can put in my past performance that in the last 8 years, and this is a long stretch, right? Sometimes you want recent, but I supported HubZone Chamber of Commerce and GovCon Chamber of Commerce. The reason I like putting those two terms on my capability statement is because Chamber of Commerce might catch their eye for 1 second. I'm trying to stop you and the reader to be able to give me a meeting to stop and go, ooh, Chamber of Commerce, that's business. And then you see HubZone, you're, well, that's the target audience I want. HubZone companies are like women-owned, service-disabled, veteran-owned, or 8A. These are part of the small business program in the federal market. And so HubZone, this up here, that'll catch their eye, so I want that. And GovCon Chamber, I'll just put that in there. The thing to keep in mind, though, is if you have recognizable names, put it there. If you don't have anything, don't even worry about it. Like if you're just getting started, who cares? Don't try to pretend like you're bigger. It's better to sit there and focus on what I was going to do, which is the what, right? I really want that's my way of highlighting what's important. I really wanted to point out that on your capability statement, where it says sell, you're just trying to say, this is what I sell in really easy ways to understand. And then when they're coming down in that Z format, they see past performance or experience. And what you're saying is, this is what I have done. And so if I try to think about what I have done, all right, let me move this a little bit so I can stand still. I got like this 10-foot whiteboard. It works really far back there, but I didn't feel like turning on my phone camera and all that. All right, so if I think about what, I'm going to brainstorm what, but here's kind of a general rule is 6 companies here. So if you've got experience, 6 companies is more than enough. You can stretch it to 8 if all you're doing is dropping acronyms. So DHS, Army, USAF for Air Force, Navy, anything that's basically like 4 characters around that, you can go up to like 8 or 9, maybe even 9. So you have 3 columns in this section. In past performance, you have 3 columns right in there that are side by side, 3 bullets each. So if you've got that much experience, putting that, but don't put full names, just put the acronym. If you're selling to the federal government, they're going to know what DOE stands for, DHS, and these other acronyms. You might not know, but they know. So don't go too far down. Like you could say NAVC as an example for Navy. That stands for Naval Sea System Command. NAVC looks like people kind of recognize it. But if you go below NAVC, it gets harder to recognize what you're even saying. So anyways, at the high level, it's 6. And then the what, depending on how short you can keep it, et cetera, you really want to use maybe like 6 to 8. And I'll show you another day where I show you on my capability statement where I do it. One of my rules about the capability statement is it needs to be 14-point font, not 12, not 10. We're not trying to shove as many words as we can in there. So 14-point font is great for people who've got bad eyes, right? Which is most of us who are reading a capability statement. And you also want it to be bigger so I can read it faster. And because it's 14-point font, you have to sit there and be concise with what you're saying about what you're selling. So this is what I'm going to try to go into and figure out what I can say. So if I just do some what's in here, and I'm just going to do free for all what's in here. And I'm not going to apologize for turning, because if I was sorry, I wouldn't turn. But apparently I'm okay with it. So an example is I want to do a LinkedIn engagement. But one thing that popped into my mind is I want to sit there and talk about how we did 400 set-aside calls. And I'll figure out later how to refine this into my capability statement so it looks good. But a set-aside call is where we took a government's opportunity, brought industry together on a Zoom call or whatever, and discussed that opportunity for 30 minutes to try to encourage people to respond to the sources sought. My whole 𝗟𝗂 business is going to be around trying to help the government engage industry so that they can get more suppliers showing up to sell their services and products, et cetera. So that's one big one. The other one here is, LinkedIn. So LinkedIn newsletter, and this one has, I think it's like 22,000 subs. So that's a big, and these things are, because I'm just doing social media, that's what I want to sell to the government. These are perfect type projects. Another one is I don't know how to say this. So for the moment, I'm just going to say influencer. Oh, I know. Maybe I'll sit there and say GovCon influencer. And I go, what the heck is that? You want somebody to go, what the heck is that? So then I can explain, oh, well, GovCon influencer is somebody who's able to engage industry and government and pull forward. An example is just a few minutes ago, and I say this softly, it's not like there's not other influencers out there, but I am an expert and I'm an influencer. It doesn't mean I'm the very best or anything else. And so I just got invited to come participate at a huge event and help people in the government. So it was a federal agency, DOD agencies. They want me to come down there. Anyways, the reason it happened is because I'm an influencer. And what I want you to understand, federal buyer, is I can do the same for you. I can make it, what really it means to be an influencer is that when you speak, LinkedIn is making your message visible to the very people you want it to get visible to. And so I'm good at that. I've been doing this since 2007. I've been doing it heavily in the government contracting space since 2018. One thing since 2017, 18. One thing I will tell you just really quick, I use LinkedIn, which is what I'm selling. Back in my last company in 2007 is when I joined LinkedIn and when I started my last government contracting. And I used it as a government contractor. For me, it was for recruiting and staffing. I used it as a way to attract people in. But instead of just trying to find candidates and say, hey, do you want to apply for this job? What I did was I sought out the very best experts in my field that I would have eventually wanted to hire at some point and said, can you come in and I'll interview you? And I interviewed them and I would say, hey, what's changed with Microsoft this month? What should we be thinking about with SharePoint? And by doing that, I was building relationships with them and the joint audiences we were able to reach by pushing this out there. And federal buyers loved seeing me interview it. So I was doing all that with LinkedIn back then. And then since 2018, it's all been around actually reaching out to you and to federal buyers and not so much me trying to promote my own government contracting business. So, okay, so I'm still coming through one. I got 3 here. Another one that I'm really trying to do is just, I don't know how to say it, so I'll just say LinkedIn, and I can refine these later. This is called brainstorming. You're just trying to get thoughts out of your mind. But LinkedIn, let's just say community engagement. And then I can sit there and say here, virtual live, I don't know, can you see this? Yeah, live events. And this one here, I can put 600 since 2018, or since 2018, I've done way more, but since 2022, March of 2022, so basically 3 years, I've done 600 live videos. I just did one today at noon. I was talking about FPDS, the Federal Procurement Data System, and how to use it. I've done 600 of these. I can help you, federal buyer, reach your target audience by putting up something like that in play where you're the expert, or we show you how to do that. So, all right, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ones. So I'm trying to think of the things that are out there that I would do: LinkedIn Lives, LinkedIn Newsletter, LinkedIn Company, and I think the last one I'll sit there and do is content creation. Reaching, this is all a big mess, but content creation reaching 4 million users, 4 million people, or 4 million views. That's different than people. 4 million views in 2024, right? That was just 2024. I could go back if I want, but I don't have to. I'm like, that's where I'm at. And so what I'm doing is I'm using these experiences. If you don't have, like I run an organization called GovCon Chamber and GovCon in Box now, but GovCon Chamber is where I built all this up and I continue to build it up. If you don't have something like that, you can look at your past jobs over the last 3 to 5 years and look at, you're starting a business theoretically doing what you're an expert at, what you've been paid for. You can just look at that and bring it forward and say, I've worked on these projects on past performance. You just don't put a company name in there. And when they ask you about it, then you can sit there and say, yeah, I'm brand new. That experience I gained through 1099 or W-2 with whatever company I worked at, right? So I'm super excited to be moving over here. You don't lie. You're not lying. You don't even try to deceive. But I do need you to ask me a question about my experience. And if all I had was a job before, then I need to put it down that I was doing road construction or cybersecurity. It's like, oh, so you're doing this? Yeah. And you make a point when you're having a meeting with a capability statement that I'm brand new. So I will talk about 𝗟𝗂𝗃, and I'll teach you this later. But I'll introduce 𝗟𝗂𝗃 as we're brand new. I'm an expert at LinkedIn. It's me and 2 other people, and these people will just be volunteers until we get money, right? But it's me and 2 other people. And so we have solid LinkedIn experience. We're just brand new government contractors. So don't be looking to me to bring you opportunities. What I'm hoping to do is to bring my expertise to you to attract federal buyers. Well, now I'm talking about if I'm talking to a teammate, attract federal buyers so that I can team with you. You can take 50%, 51%. I'll take 49%. We'll all be happy, right? And if I'm talking to a federal buyer, if I happen to want to go prime contracting, which I'm probably not going to do, I can sit there and say, hey, don't pay me if I don't hit the goals that I say. Like I can look at a federal agency, see where they're at on followers. Like YouTube, I'm not that good at. Like I only got 13,000 followers and I've got a bazillion videos. But LinkedIn, I am very good at this stuff. I just did a post a little bit ago. It's got almost 100 engagements. And if you know anything about GovCon, that is a ton for just a random post. And I can do this for a federal agency. I can show them that I can get you to this engagement site or followers. For you, you got to figure out what you sell. Anyways, okay, so I'm just along the journey, just showing you today's exercises around what, partly because I didn't want to do forming my LLC stuff today. I was just too tired. But here's what. So now I've got kind of the past performance ideas. I'll put this on the past performance paper, and then I'll begin to refine it. Does that look good? I might bounce it off of somebody. I might wait, look in the comments, see what you say. But another day gone, another task done. Took me 15 minutes or so. And I appreciate it. This is fun that you're here with me. Those of you who are coming back day after day, you're motivating me to stay here and keep at it. I'm excited to do it. I want you to hold me accountable because you can build a business if you do the right things, if you follow a process, if you've got a clear, focused offer or core competency that the federal agencies want to buy, then you can build that business. And you just got to understand it's just hard work and driving towards it. But all right, so hopefully that's good. If you got any questions about that, throw it into the comments. I will see you next time.